Welcome to Board Game Animal. My name is Justin, and Magical Athlete is the best roll and move game ever, pretty much. And CMYK is bringing this game back in a big way. Not only has this game gotten a major glow up, from a production and design perspective, looking like a glorious 1960s cartoon series that never was, but from a gameplay perspective, it also has been revitalized with the help of the legendary Richard Garfield to help balance and flesh out the characters and asymmetric powers. And boy, does it show! The love and detail that you can tell has been poured into this version of the game is extremely evident. For those of you who don't know what this game is, here's a brief rundown. Originally out over 20 years ago, Magical Athlete is a game mostly of chance, but with a more fun than it should be hook of drafting your athletes. Basically, you draft athletes with various powers to play in sequential races. Each one has unique powers that wildly affect the races. Once all players have selected characters, you each literally just roll a d6 turn after turn to race your athletes along the track. Some of the powers essentially play themselves, some allow for choices on your turn, and the powers of the various racers inevitably clash and affect the race in wild ways. The races are played, trophies are awarded, and after multiple races, there is a crowned winner. And yes, that's that. So I'm going to get this point out of the way right at the beginning. If you're someone who doesn't have interest in a game that is that chancy, essentially just rolling a dice and seeing what happens for most of the gameplay, then Magical Athlete may not be for you. And I understand. There's less agency in this game than even games such as Challengers or Hot Streak, like a decent amount less. But Magical Athlete has always made up for that in the copious amounts of charm the game has. And never more so than in this new version that I would personally call a definitive edition for the game. To be honest, playing the game just kind of delivers giddy fun. It's so downright ridiculous, but with the surefire purpose of just being pure fun, which is pretty evident that that's CMYK's goal recently. Between Hot Streak, their version of Quacks, and the Magenta games, they want to bring games to your table that are approachable and are going to leave everyone having a great time. And yeah, some of them so approachable, like Magical Athlete, in the sense that literally anyone can play them. No pun intended, but the real magic of this game is in the draft. That's where your choices do come into play. The characters are hilarious, with the most broken sounding powers imaginable, and the wackier they sound, the wackier indeed they are to watch loop the track. The game can get really crazy when powers snowball into each other, and it's super entertaining to watch get out of hand fast. You literally have a racer who potentially can just eat all of their opponents and then win by default, and that has actually happened while we've played it. And while races technically can play themselves at times, the game itself doesn't. Because smart drafting of the characters themselves, a smart decision in the order in which you're going to play them, and then on which racetrack, can have noticeable consequences. And not to mention the fact that some of the abilities do require choices on your turn, and that can make a big difference in the outcome of the race. Now, all that being said, let's circle back to the art and production here for a moment. The art design and creature character design is ludicrous and fantastic. These characters are delightfully over the top in all the right ways, and the printed meeples look awesome on the board. The colors pop, the two tracks look great, and because of the retro vibes of the design overall, coupled with the simplicity of play, this definitely feels like a novelty throwback sort of game. Something that you would expect to see somebody having on their shelf next to classic lunchboxes or collectibles still in their packaging. And on that note, keep an eye out for another video of ours coming soon, where we're going to go through all of the characters playable in Magical Athlete in a rather unconventional way. So where do I come down on this one? This one is a really tricky game for me to rate. Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, what this game is, all the strategy, all the decision making, is all in the pregame. You make choices in the draft, you decide which racer is going to go in each race, you try to have a little bit of strategy in that regard, and then you watch the game happen. So essentially, in a way, Magical Athlete is like playing fantasy football, but instead of football players, you're playing as rabbits or eggs. And because of that, there is a difference between the quality of the game itself and the quality of the experience that it delivers. So while I don't typically split hairs on the score that I'm going to give the game, I kind of have to give two scores here. Between the artwork, the production of the game itself, and the level of fun that the game brings, it's a perfect 10 in those regards. The game itself is not something that I could ever tell anyone in the hobby or even out of the hobby is a perfect 10 out of 10 flawless game. But like I said, it delivers a perfect experience. So my reasonable recommendation on this game is going to have to come down at an 8.5. I don't want to overstate the depth of the game, but at the same time, I can't understate the enjoyment that every single play of this game has brought to the table. A chancy, shamelessly silly game is elevated to new heights in this version, and is something to definitely check out. I think it's great as a novelty, a filler on game night, a game to close out the night, something to play with non-gamers, something to play with kids, or just all of the above. I want to give a huge thanks to CMYK for the review copy of this game. This was something that I was extremely interested in from the first glimpse that a new version of this was coming, and it wildly exceeded all of my expectations. Thank you all for watching, for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and don't forget to always play board games like an animal. And, hey, you guys should be happy here, huh? I mean, there's plenty of animal representation. There's 2 cats, right?
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing to see.
A frog.
Pretty sure that's a toad, but I like to think that Twin is a frog.
And not just any dog, but they literally put Harry in the game.
Hey, that's not me.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Oh, all right. Well, that's okay. Then, hey, they put you in the game too.
Yeah, okay, I had that one coming.